Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone, from wherever you're attending this session. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Fireside Chat webinar on Clean Code. I'm delighted to be your host for this insightful session where we'll dive deep into the world of clean code and its significance in the realm of SAP landscape. We are streaming live on YouTube, and you'll find the link in the chat window. Feel free to share it in your professional networks. Thank you for your patience and cooperation. In today's webinar, we will explore how clean code strategies are revolutionizing the way organizations approach their SAP environments and how is reshaping the way businesses operate within the SAP ecosystem. Our esteemed panelists or speakers, Kashyap Moturi and Shini Sandaka, will shed light on the key principles of clean code, its benefits, and its role in driving efficiency, agility, and innovation. We'll also delve into the real world case studies and success stories, showcasing how organizations are leveraging clean code to streamline their SAP journeys and achieve greater business outcomes. So, whether you are a seasoned SAP professional or new to the world of enterprise technology, this webinar promises to be a valuable learning experience. So, get ready to gain insights, ask questions, and discover actionable advice to unlock the full potential of your SAP investments with clean code. Before we move forward, I'd like to start things off with a short video that sets the stage for the fascinating discussion we'll be having today. Wow, I'm sure that video gave us a glimpse of what's coming up now. So, before we start, it's my pleasure to introduce the panel members present in today's session. Today, we have Kashyap Moturi, Hanesbrands Incorporation Director, Solutions Architecture, Platforms and Security. Kashyap is a technology leader who facilitates the vision, strategy, roadmap, and execution of technology architectures. As a transparent and collaborative leader, he excels in building enterprise systems that operate at scale while guiding teams to deliver top tier performances. He forges lasting stakeholder relationships and fosters a culture of innovation, navigating and delivering on key technology needs. Using out of the box thinking, he champions one of a kind platforms and solutions that consistently exceeds expectations. We also have with us today Srini Sandaka, CTO at MOURI Tech. Srini is distinguished by his passion for spearheading innovation and assisting organizations in realizing their IT aspirations. His specialization in building high performing teams has led to the development of numerous groups that possess profound expertise and consistently deliver exceptional value to the clients. With a career spanning over 2 decades, Srini has adeptly guided teams across various domains, including consulting, enterprise architecture, business development, and client relationship management, making a successful leadership and strategic accomplishments. Thank you, Kashyap and Srini, for joining us. I appreciate your interest in being part of today's forum. So, Srini and Kashyap, we are all set. But before we indulge in the conversation, could you both explain what exactly is clean code and its significance in the modern ERP landscape?
Yeah, sure. I would get started, and Srini, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, sure.
So I would say,
Okay.
yeah, I would say clean core is a strategic approach towards simplicity, agility, and efficiency. With the clean core methodology, we can leverage the full potential of our SAP ERP while minimizing the complexity and maximizing the value. So this approach helps us to streamline the process, makes our system more efficient, prepare for scalability, streamline the process, and make system more manageable, right? So that makes easy for us to manage. So from my point of view, there are certain key aspects which bring value add to the clean core, which are like end user experience, lowering our total cost of ownership by minimizing the customization efforts, maintenance, and keeping our version upgrades simplification, and keeping our journeys for any transformations smooth and happy rides. So these contributes as a key aspects for a value add in bringing to the clean core. Srini,
Right.
anything you want to? Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Keshav. A little dig deep into the concepts. So the clean and core. So what is clean? Clean means it's a transparent, up to date, and unmodified, efficient, and what do you call cloud compliant. These are we call clean principles. So the system has to be up to date and it's very transparent. You should be able to understand what's going on within the system, and unmodified, that means stick to the standard as much as we can. And the consistency, the data and everything has to be consistent across. And system should be efficient and it should be cloud compliant. That's what I mean by clean. The core means the main aspects of aspects of ERP core are like five different things. Like one is extensibility, processes, data, integration, and operations. These all constitute as core. So we have to keep the core clean. So with the two aspects here. So one is make the core clean. If you are an existing SAP customer, and keep the once you make the clean the core, then you have to keep the core clean. So these are the two aspects that we need to keep that in mind.
Okay.
So, yep.
Srini, this sounds too technical. Is clean code just limited to coding?
No, not really. So the clean core is not limited to coding. Clean core is, as I mentioned, the 5 layers, right? It's an extensibility is most likely it's you can talk about the coding part, how there are different options provided by SAP, how you're gonna make these extensibility, like in-app extensibility, side-by-side extensibility. Those are the different concepts are available when you make the code changes. And the process standpoint, and again, fit to the standards, stick to the standards as much as you can, and leverage the best practices. And the data has to be consistent. Your master data, make sure we have the clean data, no errors, and consistent, and completed data. And these are the integrations, and make sure your integrations use the released APIs or released either OData or REST APIs for any integrations. Don't use the classic way of RFCs and IDOCs for integrations. And operations, regular the monitoring and maintenance activities, and applying the patches, whatever that enhancement packs, and all up to date. And this is not just coding, and all different layers of these 5 layers are pertain to Green Core.
Thanks for the insights, Srini. Could you also brief us if there are any other misconceptions on clean code?
Oh yeah, there are the many misconceptions around the clean core, and people think that clean core means we to move everything to BTP, the custom development. That's not true. Clean, either making a clean core or keeping the clean core. I'll keep these two words repeated, making and keeping, because making is one-time job. Like say if you are an ECC and move to S4, and you brought in a lot of technical depth, and then we have to keep clean the system. That's one-time job, and then we have to establish a governance frameworks to keep the clean core. So either of them are not related to BTP. BTP is one of the options. Again, as I mentioned earlier, there are many options to make it happen, like especially with the on-stack extensibility. When I say on-stack means you can make this clean core transformation in your within S4 itself. But the only thing is you have to be on S4 2022. So that's when SAP has provided an option called Embedded Steampunk, which is a cloud compliant ABAP engine has been embedded into the S4 2022 version. So we can make like in-app extensibility is one key user, and developer extensibility. Those are called, two of them are considered in-app extensibility. Those two you can make it on your stack. And the side-by-side extensibility, that means there are some scenarios where you don't, the S4 is not the right platform to make those enhancements. Let's say, for example, you need to bring the data from two different systems. One is SAP, one is Salesforce, or your maybe ServiceNow. You need to bring the data from 2 or 3 different systems, and then build the application and present the data and make some activities. And that, in this scenario, the BTP is the right fit. When your data is not close to associated with your S4 system, and better to go with side-by-side extensibility in BTP. There are some principles clearly established by SAP and how you make it happen. So that's a one misconception. The another misconception is, again, as we already discussed about, is not about custom coded extensibility. As the data, process, integration, operations, these are all considered. And another misconception is clean core is only about TCO. It's not only about TCO, is one of the aspects, benefits that you're going to gain when you maintain a clean core system. Your total cost of ownership reduced for sure. And in addition to that, the another benefit is you can consume the innovations, latest innovations faster. So as well as the mindset is shift from on-prem to cloud. This is actually, again, clean core is not about only TCO, but also it accelerates the innovations. So, and there one more thing is fit to standard. So people think that, oh, okay, if you say that, as I mentioned earlier, so we thought that unmodified is one of the clean core principles. Yes, we can stick to fit to standard as much as we can, but that's not only the way to making the clean core, because none of the S4 implementation or any SAP implementations are without any customization or custom development. So in this case, this is not. So you can stick to the standards as much as you can, or we can follow SAP approved implementation, clean core implementation adoption methods. So like tier 1, tier 2 methods, then we can use them for extensibility purposes.
Thanks, Srini. So, Kashyap and Srini, my curiosity rises here. Could you elaborate on what constitutes an unclean system in the SAP landscape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I think
Go ahead.
yeah, I think to tag to what Shini was saying, right? So there are multiple factors which contributes to an unclean system. So let's start with few examples, like excessive customization. As Shini was saying, try to stick to the standard, right? So with heavy customizations and based on the business requirement, instead of going through heavy customization, we should try to stick to the SAP standard functionalities and leverage the extensive frameworks rather than going the traditional custom coding. So excessive customization is the buzzword, I would say, which contributes to the unclean system as one of the factor. Because with customization, right, it adds up to complexity, makes us too difficult to maintain, plan or upgrades or perform upgrades, which leads us to increased development and maintenance cost, as well as potential for us not to keep going to the upgrades to get to the newer innovation and technology that SAP brings in with the newer versions. And the next I would say is poor data quality. So what do I mean by that, right? Data within the system is inconsistent and it's probably duplicated and outdated. For example, right, there are multiple records for a single customer, and due to lack of central data management strategy, which creates inefficiency for our customer service to support or reporting that we do out of the financial reporting or to the leadership reporting, those all data gets inconsistent and there's a poor quality of data there. And last but not the least, right, we are used to a certain process, right? And we are used to do certain things in an old way of legacy way of doing it. So rigid to change and continuing with our legacy practices and not trying to get into the innovation or newer technologies and understand what are the things that SAP is recommending with the new version will keep us into an unclean state, right? These are the key factors from my point of view, where excessive customization, poor data quality, and trying to keep it as is are not ready to make a change.
Thanks. So, Kashyap and Srini, great. Now that we have learned about unclean systems, could you please elaborate the key challenges faced by SAP customers with these unclean systems?
Kashyap, you're on
So,
mute.
So I would highlight some of the key challenges to start off, right? Again, there are few things that, as we always keep saying, we'll repeat some of those. Some of them are increased cost. So we'll have increased cost because of the custom coding, where we have performance issues. Now, for us to tweak those performance or do the performance tuning, it requires additional compute, hardware, and all that, right? So we're increasing the cost on the resources. And of course, with people resources as well, with compute hardware resources, and you need resources to really work on those to improve the performance. Then we're talking about data quality issues. I was saying earlier, the data quality issues could lead us into data cleansing initiatives, and we might have to do a manual data correction process. So that there is cost, time, and resources involved if you have to do the data cleansing. And the key is also the vulnerabilities, right? With companies getting hit on security vulnerabilities, we have to secure our systems. So and be compliant to what we are supposed to do in SAP. So addressing all these type of compliance or vulnerabilities requires time and effort. And obviously, again, resources are included in that. So security vulnerabilities play a key role from a challenges wise. And as Srini was mentioning about the upgrades and migrations, right? As we plan on our transformation journeys or trying to keep our systems up to date from patch management wise or keeping all the vulnerabilities and all that in factor, this will create complexity. And because of the custom code, data quality issues, and outdated configurations, all that will keep us away from our upgrades and migrations. And with all these factors, right, we are accumulating technical debt. Technical debt is like we are not able to get to the standard. We are continuing to use the customization, and it keeps our system more, I would say, more complex and less agile, and and we will not be able to get into the newer innovation and technology that SAP offers. So these, I would say, are some of the key challenges which keeps our system into an unclean state.
Okay, maybe I'll add to it. So I'll give an analogy. So let's say you buy a sports car, so where manufacturer gives you certain procedures to follow. Like for example, okay, maintain good fuel and only use approved accessories for any enhancements they want to make to the car, because we always wanted to make it unique, right? That's what every business does. Like most of these business, 70 to 80% are pretty common, the common processes. Only 20 to 30% are the differentiators that they in the market, right? So let's say, again, go back to the car story. So you bought a car, and then but you're not following that. So what you did was use the low quality fuel, which is nothing but your data, and not the clean data, and delaying regular repairs, maintenance. That's nothing but your upgrades, and you go for non-approved, non-certified accessories. You add other accessories that are not approved or not approved by manufacturers. So these all leading to, like, this is like, let's say for example, unclean, the practices that we follow, because manufacturers gives you the car which is optimal performance and all, right? So but the way we are maintaining and using that, it depends, it's on our hands. So It might be when you follow these all the non-approved methods or non-approved things from manufacturers, it might be less reliable, and its cutting edge features may not be work as efficiently. And when the times comes to upgrade some of these components or things, right, and it could be more complicated and time consuming. So ultimately, failure to adhere to the maintenance guidelines slow down your ability and to benefit from the latest innovations in your car. For example, I'm back to the cars. Similarly, the same thing with SAP. Whatever that, whether you're an S4 version or ECC version, if you don't stick to the clean core principles, so clean core principles, I would encourage more stick to. S4 is more reasonable for us to implement the clean core than ECC. And ECC, I won't say it's not possible, but S4 is more easy for us to adopt the clean core principles. If you don't follow the clean core principles, that can slow down adoption of innovation in our business systems.
Thank you for the insights, Srini, and thank you for your perceptive thoughts, Kashyap. So, Kashyap and Srini, we had some great insights of what is unclean system and the challenges around it. So, could you please explain the strategy to address this unclean core system challenges?
Yeah, so for addressing the unclean core strategy, so we would say we need to strategize and identify and prioritize to see how we can systematically clean up our core system, right? For us to have a very minimal disruption for our ongoing business operations, right? So we should not have any disruption. Obviously, there is effort, there is discussions, collaboration with business IT teams that has to happen, but the ongoing operations should be very minimal disruption. So how do we strategize that? So for that, I would say we should conduct a thorough assessment of our core system to identify areas that are clean, that are unclean and are problematic. So this might require analyzing the code quality, data integrities, security vulnerabilities, performance bottlenecks, as we were talking about in the prior few minutes earlier. These are all factors we'll have to assess looking at our current core system. Based on that, we need to prioritize all these and understand how would it impact business operations and customer experience. With keeping them priorities high, medium, low on what comes out of it, then we need to have a clear objective on what we want to achieve in terms of system reliability, enhancing our security, increasing our efficiency, and obviously reducing our technical debt, right? So break down the cleanup process into multi phases or multi steps instead of addressing all in a big bang or all at once. Now, again, as I said, prioritizing basing on the criticality, whether business thinks it's a low-hanging fruit, it can handle. There's no involvement you need from business. You could do things. Yes, you can take care of that. Or these are customer-facing related applications or programs. How do we prioritize those and get business involved in it? We should not introduce new problems with adopting to the newer technologies rather than making it more simplified. So we have to prioritize. But last but not the least, I would say collaboration between the IT development and application teams with business is very much required, because we have to have that collaboration, have it tested successfully before we introduce any new things into business. So there's a lot of UI changes that could happen with clean core, with Fiori and all that. So we have to see how business adapts to that and see what fits to them and what is the gain, what is the benefit they're going to get out of this, right? They need to understand that. So that strategy with prioritization will help us to drive to a better and a clean core system. Srini, if you want to add anything, please.
Yes, Karthik, Kashyap. Thank you, nailed down. So I just wanted to add a couple of more points, like awareness and education is the key here. So we need to make the technical team, IT development team aware of this, or maybe IT business team, make aware of them, make sure they understand what is clean core, why clean core is important in terms of long-term strategic wise, and and also train the existing development team, because when you want to build a cloud compliant extensions or applications, you need to use certain frameworks called RAP and other the Fiori and all those frameworks, right? Make sure our team is up to date. Our team is well equipped to handle these new tools and technologies, new tools and frameworks. Then it's easy for them to follow. Otherwise, you may make the system clean, but you may not keep the system clean. That's very, very important. Again, not only making, the keeping is that's a long-term one. So you need to make this as you're going to bring discipline into your IT team, how you're gonna maintain and manage the systems. That's very key, the awareness and education, not only IT team, but also business also, because we need to get support from the business when we are making the system clean, because they need to test it and say that, yes, it is working as expected.
Thank you for the insights, Kashyap and Srini. So, Srini, coming back to the discussion, how does MOURI Tech help SAP customers? Do you follow any methodology or framework apart from SAP recommendations?
Yes, we defined a specific methodology, how we're gonna approach the clean core systems. Let's say, we've been doing this app modernization, app rationalization for a long time. So we blend those principles into this methodology, and how we're gonna assess the systems and maintain the inventory of objects, like custom objects and your configuration, your data and integrations. All these aspects, all these different aspects will be well documented and we will give you the prioritization based on the system usage. Okay, this application is most frequently used, and this may not be frequently used sometimes, and then we need to sit with customers and make them their priority, because sometimes it may not be using frequently, but it's very critical for the business. So unless we get that input from customers, we will not know. So we can extract some statistics from technical standpoint. So we'll make them prioritize. Then we will put into the different buckets, like rehost. Rehost means, so this is exactly happened. One of the customers, the customer is an ECC. So they built an application, like a third party, 3PL logistics providers. They interact with that application. So the application built in ECC and Fiori, and the two aspects here. There will be extra load on ECC system, because the 3PL users are directly interacting with ECC because the application is hosted in ECC. That's number one. Number two is the security, because outside users they're trying to interact with the core ECC system. So these are the two main factors. What we did was we moved this application from ECC to the BTP. That way, the users will stay at the BTP stack level. They don't directly connect with ECC. That's the load is reduced on ECC system, as well as the security we refine to the BTP platform. So in addition to these two advantages, especially on the rehosting thing, and customers also gain advantage of ECC licensing is a little expensive than the BTP user license. These are the advantages, the rehost. So sometimes we will rebuild the application. Let's say customer has built the application in like classic ABAP programming. So we can rebuild the application. So in the new framework, which is less coding, because a lot of annotation-based programming is there available, where the maintenance will be less. So we can rebuild those applications in modern frameworks. That's category 2. So then the category 3 is retire. So you may implement that specific feature like maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years back when you initially implemented that time. That feature may not be available in SAP as a standard. So now with the latest S4 version, let's say that feature is available standard, much more efficient than the custom feature. Then we can retire the custom feature and leverage this the standard feature. That's one. And these are the different ways of we are keeping these objects into the different buckets. That way customer make the decision, and this is a methodical process, a streamlined process to quickly adapt to the clean core. Again, make the core clean, and we also establish a framework to how you're going to manage your core, or keep the core clean. Because yeah, MOURI Tech can help you to make the core clean, but you are the ones who, I mean, if you don't have any AMS with any vendors, so the customer is going to manage, and then we will establish the governance framework, how they're gonna keep the core clean.
Thanks, Srini. So, Kashyap, any comments on the MOURI Tech approach?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Yeah, so the practical approach, maximizing the benefits of adapting SAP Clean Core, like for enhancing the resilience of our SAP landscapes, we have witnessed strong technical expertise and Srini and MOURI Tech's team willing to collaborate to achieve our goals, which I'm very confident that MOURI Tech ability to drive clean core initiatives very successfully is what we have seen. So I would say their ability and their willingness to extend it to the customers to keep their systems clean and manage better and go towards innovation and transformation journeys is definitely a value add that I've seen with MOURI Tech.
Thanks, Kashyap.
Thank you. Thank you, Shep.
So today we have explored the transformative power of clean core strategies in simplifying SAP landscapes, optimizing performance, and preparing organization for the future. We have heard inspiring stories and real-world examples and actionable advice on how to harness the full potential of clean core to drive business success. So Kashyap and Srini, before we end this engaging and interactive session and go to the Q&A round, my last question to both of you is, what are the benefits of customer by implementing clean core? So Srini, you may answer for all the SAP customers in general, and Kashyap, you may relate it to retail industry in specific.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
glad that you asked this question, Neha. Kashyap, you want to go?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit
Okay.
on the retail space. So yeah, clean core component, I think, is a good win that customers are getting it from SAP. It's a game changer for a lot of customers as you implement it. So again, some of the key factors that I've been talking about, simplification of core applications can increase the stability and reliability. Fewer complexities means we have fewer problems, fewer potential point of failures, and reducing a lot of system errors and disruption to the business operations and transactions, right? So simplification of core will help us to get away from all of these. And again, clean core makes it easy for us to scale our operations as we need, especially like during our holidays and peak times where we're handling increased load depending on the busy time of the season, right? A simplified and efficient SAP system can help us to accommodate growth without sacrificing on the performance or stability of those systems. So this clean core methodology will drive us to scale as we need with our business needs. Again, keeping clean core is more of keeping our data clean and reliable for analytics, right? It's all about data now, right? It's all about data analytics and reporting, which helps us to make more informed decisions for better customer needs. And as I was saying, as keeping us into the latest and to the newer technologies and going towards transformations and upgrades, this will help us out. This will help us out with less disruption to the business operation, make things done faster from upgrades perspective, less downtimes, less testing, all that, right? So these all are benefits that you could achieve with keeping a clean core in your system. And again, some are specific to retail space, some could be generic in different domains, but simplification of core, keeping it to be scalable and be prepared for more newer technologies and innovation, right? To help us to go next levels in our business. Srini, if you want to add anything.
Yes, thank you, Kashyap. Especially, I see one more point, especially in the retail side. So we have a lot of system integrations with SAP ECC, especially the e-commerce and supply chain side. So when we use released APIs from SAP, like sap.apa.com API hub. So then your integrations are more stable. So most of the time, the issues that we experience is sometimes when you upgrade an SAP system, the API may not be available if you don't use the released APIs. Released APIs are more stable, like upgrade stable. So they don't change that often. They don't change like that. They say we always provide the backward compatibility. So when you use, like say, we use an RFC and build an OData around it, and then you export it and you integrate it with an e-commerce platform. And when you upgrade it, all of a sudden the RFP may not be available because that's not approved or that's not released by SAP, because SAP is the one guarantee to keep that RFC as is, right? They can change it without notice. So that's why it's very, very important. Also, SAP has provided a lot more options in terms of integration. Like if you have a loosely coupled integrations, we can leverage event mesh for a loosely coupled applications. Earlier, it was not available. Now it's event mesh is available in the BTP platform, where we can build a loosely coupled integrations where you don't even directly talk to the one system to systems, or through not even through middleware. Just publish S4, just publish an event. Let's say order is created in S4, and then that's whatever the subscribed system, they just get the data and they will consume it and process the subsequent activities. I see this another advantage with especially in the retail side. And in terms of general, right? Let's say the clean core and whatever that we talked about, like the direct advantages, okay, the upgrade stable, cloud compliant, and accelerate innovations, and all these things. We keep repeating these benefits, the generic benefits, right? In addition to this, usually when you upgrade and you transform from NECC, because S4 transformation, we have like brownfield, greenfield, and selective data migration. There are 3 different ways to transform from ECC to S4. Like the customers who have started greenfield, right? So they can start fresh. They can implement clean core. It's easy for them to adopt the clean core principles. They can gain the advantages. The main problem with the customers who are in ECC and take either brownfield or selective data approach. So you're going to accumulate a lot of technical debt from your legacy ECC to S4 you brought in. So any customers, their focus is, well, let's move from ECC to S4 and run as is. Let's not worry about the full potential of S4. So it's like S4 is like a Ferrari, and your ECC like your Honda Accord kind of the vehicle, right? So when you buy a Ferrari, you have to drive like a Ferrari. But if you drive like a Honda or Corolla, so it won't make sense. So that's why most of the customers, they just buy the Ferrari, but they don't use the way it's supposed to be used. So the main reason is you brought in a lot of your technical debt. Let's say in ECC world, so more code on NetWeaver engine and less code on database. So that's all. And when it comes to S4, it has to be in reverse. So the more code you have to push down to the database and less code is on application server level. That's when you really make use of full potential of HANA in-memory engine, right? So that means the custom code has to be redefined in order for any customers to leverage full potential of S4. That's when we can use the clean core as a way to redefine those things in the newer application frameworks to leverage the full potential of S4. So, yep, in addition to the regular advantages, and I see this clean core approach, make use of clean core approach to leverage full potential of S4.
Thanks for the insights, Kashyap and Srini. And as we wrap up our today's insightful discussion, let's crystallize the takeaways that have surfaced. We have seen the power of extensibility within a clean core framework, which is crucial for tailoring SAP ERP systems while maintaining their robustness. We have discussed the importance of overcoming the hurdles of an unclean system, emphasizing data integrity and smooth operation of business processes. Our exploration of 4R strategy, rehost, rebuild, retire, refactor, highlighted MOURI Tech's comprehensive approach to enhancing SAP environments for the future. The significance of operational efficiency through minimized customizations and leveraging SAP's standard functionality was a recurring theme, foundational for system optimization. For the retail industry, we have uncovered benefits such as an improved customer experience, more efficient inventory management, and the agility to adapt quickly to the market changes. Lastly, we have affirmed the criticality of future readiness, ensuring that SAP systems are well prepared for upgrades and innovation, thanks to disciplined adherence to the clean core principles. It's been an enlightening session that has not only deepened our understanding of clean core, but also provided actionable insights for all SAP users, particularly in the retail sector. Thank you for joining us and contributing to this engaging conversation. Until next time, keep striving for clarity and efficiency in your SAP journeys. Now it's the time to open the floor to questions from our audience. Please feel free to ask questions you may have about clean code. I'm sure our attendees will have a lot of questions for our panel, so let's look at those questions. And here is the first question. So, in your experience, what are the challenges organizations encounter when trying to transition from their existing SAP systems to a clean code? This is our first question from the audience, Kashyap and Srini.
Yeah, I think some of the factors I would tell in for challenges is to understand the requirement from business, right? To make sure we convince the business on how it's going to benefit them. So that is one big challenge because there's not much on business side. It's more looks like a technical rather than a business driven. So we need to let the business understand how this end user experience, the UI will help to benefit them, how to reduce the data or removing the duplicate data cleansing with this clean core will help them to provide more analytical and reporting accurate data, right? So these type of things will have to be discussed to bring business up to speed and business aligned with us to start the journey. That itself would be one of our big hurdle, first of all. And then obviously it requires resources and efforts from the development team and other functional folks to drive that into current program that was done into a newer technology, right? So there is effort and time depending on what's going on in the organization. How do we put together this one as one of the small project as a bits small phases to move forward rather than a big bang, right? So concluding all these into one bucket, it would be is a hurdle that you will see in organizations. Where do we prioritize this? What is the driving factor from business to really approve this or to support us to test all that, right? So these we have to get these into a soft plate from business and move forward with it.
Yeah, especially we see the challenges. Okay, who is going to fund for this? Because the moment you initiate the clean core project, right? Make the core clean project. That means you need to do a lot of cleaning, right? So that require a lot of effort. So who is going to fund for that? Business saying that, okay, we don't see immediate benefit because their functionality is not going to change. Sometimes business not even do not even have a time to test it, right? So then they say that, okay, there's an IT budget, an IT initiative. So that's where we see the challenges. So we do convince the customers. That's why awareness and education is the key here. We need to educate business because you see that nowadays the AI is dynamic, right? It's ever evolving fastly. So every day we see somewhere the other AI solutions, and if you don't adopt it, like FOMO, fear of missing out. If you don't adapt to the AI, you're not lose the game, right? So in order for us to catch up all those things, you have to be ready to accept these innovations fast, adopt these innovations faster. That means your system has to be ready to quickly update and upgrade to the next level and make use of those innovations. So we make sure we make the business aware of these consequences if you don't adapt to the clean core and see these strategic long-term advantages with it. So yeah, maybe I'll take another question, Neha, if you don't mind. So there is another question is, how does clean core adoption impact on organization IT infrastructure and architecture? And what consideration should be taken into account to ensure compatibility and scalability? Kashyap, maybe I'll start because you want to add it? So because you're the main infrastructure, you manage it, right?
Yeah. So
you want me to repeat the question, Kashyap?
No, I think I'm looking at the chat and yeah, I see that So I think Andrew was asking that question. So that's a very good question, right? How do we plan for it? So again, as Srini was mentioning on the phase of the project you are, if you're looking at a brown field or you're looking at going towards a green field. So if let's talk about your current SAP system, it's been built with the old way of legacy way of doing it at that point of time from a coding and all that, right? So for that, you have built your hardware to support that with certain compute and certain configurations and all that. Now, if you have to plan for your green field or convert these from brown to green, how do we bring all these new technologies with the RAP program, CDS views, and there are a lot of other technology that SAP brought in with Clean Core? How do we leverage those, which will help us to be scalable for a newer technologies, and all our compute and hardware things will definitely change because the way the program interacts from a performance wise, the results that comes out, the reporting dashboards, with the clean core adoption, all these look and feel with the data driven is completely going to change. So your impact on the system will reduce obviously, and the performance on how the reports generate or what is coming up as a query will give you more value add when you start to use all these clean core components, right? So that is the key for us. If you're doing greenfield, obviously you start with your newer technology of clean core, but if you're in a legacy CC, there are ways, as Srini was mentioning, where you can still make your code as a clean core availability or make it as ready for clean core, and which will improve all your infrastructure, hardware, resources, performance. All that will play once you start leveraging the clean core methodologies. Srini, anything you want to add?
Yes, I want to add it. Let's assume that you're an S4. So if you ask me, do I need to scale my hardware? Or is there any impact on organization infrastructure and architecture, right? I would say no, if you're an S4. So because you're leveraging the same infrastructure and same architecture to maximize the potential, right? So that means whatever the data cleaning, you only need to spend time on the cleaning activities or establishing the governance frameworks to keep the core clean. So once you make the core clean, then you have to keep the core clean. And the next second part of the question is what consideration should be taken into the account to ensure compatibility? And let's get back IT infrastructure standpoint, right? Let's say, for example, you have 500 custom objects, or in 500 custom objects, you have like 20 different applications, custom applications, and 10 of them are more suitable for BTP because the third-party users are interacting, or you're bringing the data from different systems and all those things because those we decided to move them to the BTP. Then you need to use your BTP credits. So that's where additional infrastructure required, the BTP infrastructure. So usually most of these customers have the BTP, either this enterprise agreement. So you can make use of those credits and build those applications. That's the catch is. Yeah, depends on how you're gonna adapt the clean core. What is the different approach that you're gonna take? Depends on that. You may add some additional the workflow infrastructure in BTP side of it. And in your existing system, I don't see any change if you are an SAP. Sorry, S4, SAP S4. And the second part of the question, consideration should be taken into account to ensure compatibility and standpoint. Again, the considerations, as I mentioned earlier, you need to educate your team on these new frameworks and clean core principles, and make sure we use the ABAP cloud programming model to make it compatible for future releases and easy to integrate with the cloud or easy to migrate to the cloud in future. That's the compatibility. And the scalability standpoint, again, BTP and your S4 depend. You already might have sized based on your future business needs. I don't see any issue with the scalability on S4, but when it comes to the BTP, and it's easy to scale. It's a cloud platform like PaaS, right? Platform as a service. So all you need to is add more credits to the BTP platform and make use of those services.
Thank you, Kashyap and Srini, for those insightful answers to the attendees' questions. We have tried answering all the posted questions, but you can still reach out to MOURI Tech's inquiry team with more questions or for more insights and details.
think, do we have time to take another question, Neha?
Yeah, sure. So we have another question, Srini. If we have some time, let's take up that. The question is, can you elaborate on the specific steps organizations should take to ensure smooth migration process to clean code while minimizing disruption to the ongoing operations?
Kashyap, you want to take it or you want me to take it?
I'm just looking at the question. You said, Neha, I didn't get the question. You said, what
Yeah, can you
should
elaborate on the
Steps.
specific steps organization should take to ensure the
Oh.
migration process? Yeah.
Yeah, so again, the assessment, right? Assessment on looking at your core system of SAP to see how many customizing objects. I'll take an example of Shini has mentioned 500 objects. So look at those 500 objects and understand how would it impact business? Is it within the SAP system they are being developed, or there is an integration layer for these that are coming in from BTP and other middleware applications, right? So and prioritize high, critical, medium, lows, prioritize on those, and then plan on the phases that you wanted to start doing these with the low hanging fruits, where these are nice to have. Again, business doesn't really care about you taking care of it, but you're changing your finite objects slowly one after the other into a clean core. And then the critical objects, obviously, with understanding from business, how would it impact them, whether it is an end user experience or it is more for their operations work that will help them out. We could pick those and see how do we convert them into a clean core. And again, business has to be aligned on how they're running the report. They're going into standard transactions in the legacy way and trying to get the reports and data out. Now with this Fioris and other enhancement uh, frameworks, how would it gives them a seamless experience for them? How do they feel in pulling the data? UI, is it through a mobile that they can open a Fiori app and they can pull the data out rather than going in, logging into SAP and all that, right? So that they need to be aligned with. And then the reporting structures, right? How is the current reports generated out? How long does it take? Does it take 1 hour to generate the report out? It goes through 2-3 layers and the report sends out in this format. So there's a lot of customizing on it. So can I change that into a different way of clean core methodology? So prioritizing with working back with business and making sure how it's going to bring them value add to their regular operations and end user experience, and see how we can minimize the downtime or disruption to the business operations when we convert them from a standard to a clean core. This is all about existing ones, but as you start things fresh in S4, we should start, because business all is they need a requirement. You give them in a clean core methodology, then they're used to that, right? That will not even start with any disruptions. So that's my point of view. Shane, anything you want to add?
No, you covered, Kashyap. I want to take one more last question. So the question is, how does clean core align with broader digital transformation initiative within organizations, and what role does it play enabling innovation and agility? So the broader digital transformation initiatives, right? It's more of nowadays agility is very key here. So let's say, for example, there is new innovation AI has been released by SAP, and we need to quickly adopt to make use of it. In order for you to adapt to this, your system is up to date. So you should be able to quickly upgrade. If you have more non-compliant extensions or enhancements, sometimes your upgrades may break them. So your enhancements or extensions should not break upgrade, or your upgrade should not break these things. So that means less disruption. That's when you are a clean core, you won't have those issues, and you can quickly upgrade to the new releases, and that way you can quickly consume the innovations. That's the main key here, innovation and agility. Yeah, that means you can quickly upgrade your systems and install new add-ons without any disruption, interruptions, and you can consume those innovations. This is how even clean core is not just only SAP concept. I think there is an IDC research paper is available in the internet. If you can check IDC survey, and this is broader digital transformation industry. What are the main hurdles that for any organizations to adopt innovation? The main hurdles are upgrades. Upgrades are going to be hurdles because a lot of non-standard custom development. Yeah, let's stick to as much as we can standard, but yeah, any business, the customization, custom development required. That is when that is required, let's adhere to the clean core principles to make it happen. That way there won't be any hurdle for upgrades.
Thanks, Srini and Kashyap. So thanks everyone for joining with us today. As I mentioned earlier, for further inquiries, email us at theinquiry@mouritech.com, and you'll find our social media platform page in the chat box. Do like the page and stay updated. Thank you for giving us your time and attending today's session. I request you to fill the feedback form as we are always focused on getting better. Have a great day or evening.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Kashyap.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nidhi.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice day.